Made it to the end of another week at work. It's Friday night, it's the weekend. Sun's going down, you can't see all through my dirty window, and plus that's east anyway, but there's a full moon out there. Regardless, I'm still putting this tractor back together. Things are going pretty good. Put the steering box back in. Unfortunately, you can see all of that play in there. I've tightened up and taken all of the, what do you call that, backlash out of it. We're nice and snug as far as this goes by loosening this lock nut, snugging down that adjustment, but the gears are worn, right? So the gears are worn. There's only solution is a new gear set for the worm gear and well, it's a spur gear, but what do they call that? It's I'd have to look in the manual. I should know that off the top of my head. But regardless, the steering gear and the worm gear are just worn a little bit, and unless I replace it, we're not getting rid of that play. So in short, we're not getting rid of that play. We're at the point now where it's time to put this back together. I'm not going to be able to corrugate a straight row of corn with this, but that's okay because I don't grow corn. And what I'll probably do is I'm going to go ahead and finish putting this back together, get it in operation, and I'll start keeping my eye out for some spare parts so that I can at some point upgrade this. It was the same steering gear that was used. That's the same steering gear that was used in almost every model of these Massey Harris tractors. The 33s, the 44s, I think maybe even the 20s, perhaps even the 50s of this vintage. So they're available. It's just a matter of finding one that's the right deal. So with that decision made that we're just putting this thing back together, we're getting what we're getting and we're not throwing a fit, that means it's time to start bolting some other stuff in. We can put the radiator up here, put this, put the cover pan here, put the grill on, and just start putting more stuff on. So yeah, things are looking pretty good. I'm still tickled pink about having that toolbox down there. And yeah, things are working out. So I'm going to keep working on this. And what's fun about this is, yeah, it's a big mess right now. I mean, I got stuff everywhere. But with every piece that you put on there, that's that much more mess that's cleaned up and out of the way. So yeah, we're going to keep going and enjoy this. There we go. Keep my beautiful face out of the fall zone. There we go. That won't fall. Now I can snug this housing back on. Snug that housing back on. Put that housing back on. Shouldn't have to take it off again. So that'll be a win. Let's give me a minute here. We'll win. Got it. Feel that actuating. I'm leaving it all loose now because the operating station still has to go on here and the lock nut, but that's the PTO clutch. It'll end up way up here actually. Right about there. That feels just right. And we're just going to keep on going, bolting on bits and pieces that are painted up and ready to go. We'll get the pieces that haven't been painted. I haven't painted that cover yet for the PTO clutch, so it's not going on yet. But it's gas tank, seat mounting hardware, stuff like that, we'll get that put on there. What we can, clean up around us and get this look more and more like a tractor every bolt. All right, next up is the hydraulic cylinder mount. This is the standard mount for the hydraulic cylinder. It's been used as a 3-point hitch on this tractor. This is just taking forever. Give me a second here. Although I believe it was a 2-point hitch originally. That's going to be the subject of something else entirely. Whether or not we go back with a 3-point or a two-point. It'll be some form of a hitch. But what we have is in really rough shape. It's been highly modified and not in a good kind of way either. And that looks like a 9/16. Oh, a little too much paint on that one. All right. Then we have back here, we have the seat mount. Let's get this over here. We've got the seat mount right here. And it's just these two, hold on, what is that? 5/16, 7/16 bolts. But only one hole through the actual mount. The other goes through a brace on the side. Kind of makes me nervous when you think about it. Realistically, my entire body is being supported by one 7/16 bolt. It makes me nervous. Just a little bit of paint there. We'll touch that up. I don't really count, well, I do count this as support, but I don't like it. So you know that they were using this seat mount on multiple. Hold on, get that out of there. Let me get a better washer. And by better, a non-broken one. I should just replace it with a flat washer. I've mentioned this multiple occasions, but I don't believe in lock washers. They don't lock and they don't wash. face it, you snug them down, what does it turn into? It turned into a flat washer. Hey, you know what? I think I got the wrong bolt in there. Let's take a look. Yep. It's like a puzzle. Now, where did I put my ratchet? Oh, I just don't even know. It's around here somewhere. I hope it went someplace nice. Someplace nice indeed. Oh no! What's all that? More like a tractor. I'm not sure about the rake. I understand why this toolbox was never down here. Looks like we obviously need a tab, something to lock it in. We'll figure that out eventually. But part of the operator platform is on. It's kind of floppy right now, but it will stiffen up when we put the fender on. The fender bolts through the this part of it, and that'll stiffen all that up. That's what makes the operating platform, is the fender in conjunction with this mount. These 4 bolts here, 2 7/16 and 2 bigger ones, 5/8 or so, they hold up the toolbox. That's all they do. A little overkill if you ask me, but what can I say? So at a certain point, I got to decide that this is just not going to work. So I want it to be a little bit more like that on my coil wire. We're just going to snip it. I'm happy with how this is looking. All the wires are, well, there's no floppy wires just going everywhere. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time. It's probably taken me 15-20 minutes to do all that, but I think it's well worth it. So yeah, breathe that in. Compare that to the floppy wires going everywhere. Nice clean look. I'm happy with that. It's always fun yet frustrating to get close to the end of a project, where you're bolting on the fenders, the last few little pieces here and there to get it back into operation, knowing that you still have so much work to do, but you can see the end in sight. I'm really grateful for that part of a project, even if it is also the most frustrating part of a project for me, because I get to this point and I just want to see it done. So it's a little bit of a act of patience and understanding, but it's also exciting. I'm going to keep at this, bolting on fenders. I've got to get the dashboard bolted on. A few little minor things like that. Get my hydraulic hoses hooked up. But there's still probably weeks worth of work to do on this tractor before we can fire it up and actually put it out in the field. So the watchword here is patience. I've just got to be patient and not let myself get too far ahead of this project.